The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber fell silent as the final vote was recorded. One by one, the alien representatives, tall, short, scaled, furred, and some barely visible in their atmospheric chambers, raised their appendages in agreement. Earth would be abandoned to its fate. Juri, the human ambassador, stood frozen at the podium. She had pleaded for 6 hours straight, her voice growing hoarse as she described Earth's value, its cultures, its children. None of it mattered. The decision was unanimous. "The cosmic anomaly approaches your solar system," said Councillor Dowan, his translucent skin pulsing with apologetic blue lights. "The resources required to save Earth would protect 3 more developed worlds. The calculation is simple." Juri's journey back to Earth was the longest of her life. How could she tell billions of people they had been deemed unworthy of saving? Dr. Min sat in her laboratory beneath Sol, analyzing the latest data from deep space telescopes. The anomaly defied classification, part black hole, part quantum distortion, wholly deadly. According to her calculations, Earth had 8 months before the first effects reached them, and under a year before total planetary destruction. Her assistant Tejo placed a cup of coffee beside her terminal. "Any changes?" "None," Min replied, rubbing her tired eyes. "If anything, it's accelerating." The worldwide broadcast of Juri's return was watched by nearly every person on Earth. Standing beside world leaders, her face pale but composed, she delivered the news that would change humanity forever. "The Galactic Council has voted to quarantine our solar system. They will not provide aid. They believe our technological development insufficient to warrant intervention." The response was immediate. Riots broke out in major cities. Religious leaders proclaimed the end times. Financial markets collapsed within hours. President Jin of the United Nations Emergency Council called for calm, but his voice was lost in the global panic. Min turned off the broadcast and looked at her team. "We have work to do." The anomaly's first effects appeared a month later. Strange lights in the upper atmosphere. Unpredictable magnetic field fluctuations. Pilots reported navigation systems failing for seconds at a time. Animals grew restless. Birds flew in confused patterns. In the abandoned alien embassy in Geneva, Min discovered something the departing extraterrestrials had left behind, either by accident or from a hidden sympathy. Technical diagrams for SHIELD, technology far beyond human development. "Can we build this?" asked Defense Minister Jihu, studying the strange symbols and measurements. "Not as it's designed," Min replied, "but we can adapt it. If we use every resource, every mind on the planet." "That's asking for unprecedented cooperation," President Jin said, his voice heavy with doubt. "It's that or extinction," Min stated. Simply. The plan was named Project Dawn. Within weeks, factories worldwide shifted production. University physics departments worked around the clock. Children as young as 10 with mathematical aptitude were recruited to help solve equations that defied adult understanding. Not everyone cooperated. Some nations hoarded resources. Doomsday cults sabotaged construction sites. The wealthy built private bunkers, though Min's team explained repeatedly that no underground shelter would survive what was coming. 3 months in, the first test of a shield node in the Gobi Desert produced a dome of shimmering energy 10 meters wide. It lasted 8 seconds before collapsing. The team celebrated like they'd won a war. "It's not enough," Min told Tejo that night, looking at the stars through her office window. "Even if we build 1,000 nodes, the power requirements—" "We'll find a way," he said, his faith in her unwavering. The anomaly reached Mercury. 5 months after the announcement, the small planet's orbit altered noticeably, its surface temperature spiking beyond anything their instruments could measure. Astronomers watched in horror as the closest planet to their sun was essentially unmade, its matter scattered into an elegant spiral pattern. Venus would be next. Then Earth. Min hadn't slept in 3 days when she made the breakthrough. The shield. Nodes were working individually, but they needed to be linked in ways their creators hadn't intended. The alien technology assumed cooperation. Min's redesign embraced humanity's chaos and adaptability. "We need 1,000 minds working together," Not one mind controlling 1,000 nodes, she explained to the project council. Humans aren't designed to link consciousness, argued scientist Song. Maybe that's our advantage, Min replied. Our minds aren't logical like theirs. We're messy, emotional, contradictory, and that might be exactly what we need. As the anomaly consumed Venus in a display of terrifying beauty visible from Earth with the naked eye, Project Dawn entered its final phase. Shield nodes were positioned across the globe. 1 million volunteers prepared to link their minds to the network. Earth stood alone against the approaching storm. But for the first time since the Galactic Council's vote, Min felt something she hadn't dared to feel before. Hope. 6 months after Earth's abandonment, the planet looked different. National borders, once fiercely defended, became meaningless lines on maps as the United Terrestrial Alliance formed. Dr. Min stood at the window of the former United Nations building, now the Alliance headquarters, watching teams of workers construct a massive shield node in Central Park. Similar scenes played out in major cities across the world. Time was running out. The latest calculations give us 4 months before the anomaly reaches Earth, said General Su as he entered her office. Once the commander of South Korea's military, he now led the Global Defense Initiative. Then we need to work faster, Min replied, not turning from the window. The Aegis project, as the SHIELD network had been named, required resources from every nation. Mining operations ran day and night. Children collected scrap electronics from landfills. University laboratories were converted into production facilities for the specialized components the SHIELD nodes required. At the Alliance Council meeting that evening, not everyone shared Min's determination. This is futile, argued Representative Hong from the Eastern Coalition. We should focus resources on deep bunkers, at least some might survive. The bunkers won't work, Min said for what felt like the 100th time. What's coming will reshape matter itself. Our only chance is the shield. President Jin, his face aged years and months, stood up. We vote again. Continue the Aegis project, or redirect to survival bunkers. The vote was closer than Min would have liked, 60% for continuing the project. Barely enough. As she left the council chamber, a young assistant rushed up to her. Dr. Min, the test in Australia was successful. 30 seconds of stable shield coverage over a 1-kilometer area. It was the first piece of good news in weeks. That night, the first major breakthrough came from an unexpected source. 10-year-old Jimin, daughter of a project engineer, was playing with the shield interface when she accidentally discovered a pattern the adult scientists had missed. She was treating it like a game, Engineer Park explained to Min over a video call, his excitement barely contained. Her mind made connections our trained minds couldn't see. Within days, children across the globe were recruited to work alongside the scientists. Their untrained, flexible minds processed the alien technology in ways adults couldn't replicate. Shield stability increased by 40%. Not everyone celebrated this development. Religious groups protested the use of children. Some parents refused to let their kids participate. We aren't sacrificing them, Min explained at an emergency broadcast. We're saving them, saving all of us. The anomaly reached Mars, turning the red planet into a swirling mass of matter and energy. Earth's telescopes captured the event in horrifying detail. Panic spread again. Some people fled to the mountains or forests, though there was nowhere truly safe. Then came the sabotage. A shield node in Berlin exploded, killing 12 workers. Similar attacks followed in Cairo, Mumbai, and São Paulo. Who would do this? Tejo asked as they reviewed security footage. Don't they understand what's at stake? The answer came 3 days later when security forces captured a saboteur in Tokyo. The man wasn't human. Beneath his disguise was a slender, gray-skinned being, one of the aliens who had supposedly all left Earth months ago. Under questioning, the alien revealed the truth. A faction within the Galactic Council believed humans might actually succeed. If Earth survived what was coming, humanity would emerge stronger, possibly threatening the established galactic order. They fear what we might become, President Jin told the Alliance Council. That means we can win. With renewed determination, Security around shield nodes was increased. Construction accelerated. The network reached 40% completion, then 50%. Another unexpected ally emerged when a small alien ship landed outside Alliance headquarters. Du-1, the counselor who had apologized during the abandonment vote, emerged with data crystals containing shield specifications he had stolen from Council archives. Not all of us agreed with the decision, he told Min. Some of us believe all sentient life deserves a chance. With Do-1's help, shield efficiency improved dramatically. The network reached 70% completion as Jupiter's massive gravity temporarily disrupted the anomaly's approach, buying Earth precious extra weeks. Min hadn't slept in her own bed for months. She moved between shield nodes, solving problems, pushing the work forward. One night, standing beneath the vast Australian night sky with General Sue, she allowed herself a moment of honesty. "I'm terrified," she admitted. "What if we fail? What if all this work, all this hope, isn't enough?" Sue pointed to the shield node humming nearby, its energy field distorting the starlight above. "Look at what humans built in 6 months. Technology that should have taken us centuries. United, we are capable of miracles." The ground beneath them trembled slightly. The anomaly's gravity waves were reaching Earth, the first touch of what was coming. 3 weeks, Min said quietly. "Then we'd better get back to work," Sue replied. As they walked back to the control center, hundreds of workers nodded respectfully to Min. Their faces showed exhaustion, but also something the Galactic Council had never counted on: human determination. 1. Year after the Galactic Council had abandoned Earth, the SHIELD network was only 76% complete, not enough to save them. Min stared at the progress map in the underground command center beneath Mount Bayektu. Red dots showed incomplete nodes, far too many of them scattered across the global network. Green dots represented functioning shield generators. There weren't enough green dots. "Jupiter bought us time," scientist Jin said, pointing to the view screen showing the gas giant's distorted form. The cosmic anomaly had partially engulfed the massive planet, creating spectacular light shows visible even from Earth. "But the effect is lessening. We have 3 weeks, maybe less." Min rubbed her tired eyes. She hadn't slept properly in days. "The production teams are working as fast as they can. It won't be enough," General Sue said quietly. "We need a new approach." That night, while reviewing alien data crystals for the 100th time, Min noticed something odd: a hidden file buried deep in the technical specifications. With Do-1's help, she decoded it. "They knew," she whispered as she read. "The Galactic Council knew the anomaly could be redirected." The file contained calculations for using gravitational technology to alter the anomaly's path. The Council had the means to save Earth all along but had chosen not to. They had labeled humanity evolutionarily expendable, a test case for anomaly survival. When Min presented this discovery to the Alliance Council, riots nearly broke out in the meeting hall. "We trusted them," shouted Representative Hong, banging his fist on the table. "We traded with them, learned from them." "This changes nothing about our situation," President Jin said firmly. "We still have only one path forward." Outside the council chambers, the situation was deteriorating. Resources grew scarce as manufacturing focused entirely on shield components. Food rationing led to black markets. In some regions, martial law had been declared. The anomaly's outer effects reached Earth's moon, causing gravitational tides that triggered earthquakes and tsunamis. Coastal cities were evacuated. Millions became refugees, moving inland. Nations that had once refused Alliance help now begged for assistance. Min returned to Seoul to check on a failing shield node and found her old laboratory ransacked. Armed, guards now protected each working facility. Fear was breaking the fragile human unity they had built. "We're tearing ourselves apart," she told Taeho as they repaired damaged equipment, "just when we need to stand together most." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. During a routine neural interface test, Engineer Park's daughter Ji-min fell into a strange trance while connected to a shield node. For 6 minutes, the node operated at 120% efficiency, beyond what the designers thought possible. Her brainwaves synchronized perfectly with the shield frequency, Dr. Song explained, showing Min the readings. Something about children's developing minds allows a deeper connection than adult brains. Tests confirmed the theory. Children under 12 could form stronger neural links to the shield technology. Their minds, less fixed in patterns than adults, adapted naturally to the alien systems. But using children as neural interfaces raised impossible ethical questions. "We can't ask this of them," President Jin said during an emergency session. "We should ask them," Min suggested. "They deserve a choice in their future." When Jimin was told her connection could help save Earth, she didn't hesitate. "I want to help," she said simply. Within days, 1,000 children volunteered, with their parents' tearful permission. Each would connect briefly to the system, their minds helping to harmonize and strengthen the shield network. As the anomaly consumed Mars, turning the red planet into swirling chaos, Earth's shield reached 83% completion. Engineers worked through the night, pushing exhausted bodies beyond limits. Min received a private message from Do Wan's ship, now hiding in lunar orbit. "Council battleships approaching. They know you might succeed." The alien saboteurs had been the first wave. Now the Council was sending more direct measures to ensure Earth's destruction. If humanity survived and discovered the Council had willingly left them to die, the political consequences across the galaxy would be severe. "They're afraid of us," Min realized. Not of what humans were, but of what they might become if they survived this trial. On the final day before the anomaly would reach Earth, Min stood with General Su on a mountain overlook. Below them, thousands of workers made final adjustments to the main control node. The sky had turned strange colors as space-time began warping around their planet. "Do you think it will be enough?" Su asked quietly. Min looked at the shield emitters, powering up across the landscape, humming with energy they barely understood. At the children being gently led to their connection pods, small faces, serious but unafraid. At humanity, standing together against impossible odds. "It has to be," she answered. "There is no other option." The ground trembled beneath them. The final countdown had begun. The sky burned with impossible colors as the cosmic anomaly reached Earth's atmosphere. Swirling patterns of energy cascaded across the heavens, beautiful and terrifying. In the main control center beneath Mount Bayektu, Min watched the primary monitors with clenched fists. "Shield network at full power," reported Technician Yo from his station. "All nodes responding." Around the world, 1,000 shield generators hummed at maximum capacity. The strange technology, built from alien designs but modified by human hands, created an energy barrier around the planet. It was humanity's only hope. "First contact in 5 seconds, announced General Su. His normally calm voice wavered slightly. The impact when it came was felt by every person on Earth. The ground shook. The air itself seemed to vibrate. In the control room, warning alarms blared as energy readings spiked beyond predicted levels. "The shield is holding," shouted Engineer Park, disbelief and joy mixing in his voice. On the main screen, they watched as the anomaly's destructive energy washed against their barrier. The shield glowed brilliant blue-white under the strain, but it remained intact. For 1 hour they dared to hope. Then, one by one, shield nodes began failing. "Node 117 down," reported a technician. "Node 243 at critical levels." "What's happening?" demanded President Jin, who had insisted on being in the command center for this moment. Min studied the readings, her heart sinking. "The anomaly is learning. It's finding the weaknesses in our shield pattern. The alien barrier was designed to be static, predictable, but the cosmic anomaly was neither. It probed and tested, shifting its approach wherever it met resistance. Node 386 down, Node 42 failing. Reroute power from secondary systems," ordered General Su. "It won't be enough," Min said quietly. We need something more adaptive than machines. Something that can change as quickly as the anomaly does. She turned to look at the neural interface chamber where Jimin and other children maintained their connection to the SHIELD network. Their minds helped harmonize the system, but they weren't directly controlling it. We need a full neural link, Min said. Not just harmonizing, someone needs to become the SHIELD. The room fell silent. Everyone understood what that meant. A full neural connection could burn out an adult brain in minutes. Even for the children, whose minds were more adaptable, it would be dangerous. I'll do it, General Su said without hesitation. Min shook her head. Your mind is too structured, too disciplined. The SHIELD needs creativity, adaptability. Then I'll do it, she said. Before anyone could argue, another voice spoke up. It should be me. Tae-ho stepped forward. I've studied the SHIELD designs, longer than anyone except Min, and she's needed to direct the response. More SHIELD nodes failed as they argued. The barrier was weakening by the second. There's no time, President Jin said. Make your decision. Min looked at her assistant, her friend. He nodded once, determined. Prepare the primary neural link, she ordered. The interface chamber was redesigned in minutes. Tae-ho lay on the connection bed, sensors attached to his head. Min squeezed his hand once before stepping back. Connection in 3, 2, 1, engage. Tae-ho's body arched as his consciousness merged with the SHIELD network. On the monitors, SHIELD stability immediately improved. His mind, now distributed throughout the system, began making thousands of micro-adjustments per second. It's working, shouted Engineer Park. Outside, people watched the sky burn with unearthly light. The SHIELD became visible to the naked eye, a shimmering dome that flashed and pulsed as it fought against the anomaly's assault. In the control room, Min watched. Tae-ho's vital signs with growing alarm. His heart rate was dangerously high. Brain activity spiked into red zones. He can't maintain this, Dr. Song warned. His mind will burn out. As if hearing these words, Tae-ho's eyes opened. His voice came through the room's speakers, strangely, doubled as if speaking from everywhere at once. I need help, he gasped. Too much. Can't process all inputs. Min made an instant decision. Open all neural interfaces, voluntary connections only. That's not tested, protested Dr. Song. We have no choice, Min replied. Across the globe, the call went out. Thousands volunteered immediately. Within minutes, hundreds of adults were connected to lesser nodes, forming a distributed network with Tae-ho at the center. Their minds linked together, each processing a small part of the SHIELD's needs. What one mind couldn't handle, many could share. The SHIELD stabilized, then strengthened. Hours passed. The anomaly's first wave crashed against Earth's defenses and slowly began to pass. Outside the neural chamber, Min watched the monitors with exhausted hope. It's working, she whispered. They're doing it. As dawn broke over a changed world, the SHIELD network held. Through thousands of connected human minds working together in ways the Galactic Council had never imagined possible, humanity had done the impossible. They had survived the first wave. But the battle was far from over. Min stepped out of the underground command center for the first time in 3 days. The morning air felt strangely heavy, charged with lingering energy from the anomaly's passage. The sky above had changed. No longer the familiar blue, it now shimmered with faint traces of purple and green, a permanent reminder of what Earth had endured. But they had survived. The SHIELD network had held through the worst of the anomaly's passage. As its destructive force finally moved beyond Earth's orbit, technicians began the careful process of powering down the system. Nearly 80% of the SHIELD nodes had burned out completely. The rest operated at minimal capacity, maintained only by the neural network of volunteers. Tae-ho had been the first to be disconnected from the system. He lay in the medical bay, unconscious but stable. Doctors were unsure when, or if, he would wake. His mind had borne the brunt of the initial neural load. He saved us all, General Su said, standing beside Min on the observation platform. Below them, repair crews worked to restore power to the devastated region. We all did, Min replied. Together. Reports from around the world told similar stories. Infrastructure damaged but repairable. Millions displaced but alive. And something else, something unexpected. Those who had participated in the neural link were changed. Jimin was the first to demonstrate it. While visiting Tai-Ho in the medical bay, she had suddenly spoken in his voice, delivering a message from his unconscious mind. Further tests revealed that all neural link participants retained a weak connection to each other, a form of limited telepathy that scientists couldn't explain. 1 month after the anomaly's passage, as Earth began rebuilding, the long-range sensors detected ships approaching from deep space. The Galactic Council is returning, Min informed President Jin during an emergency meeting. 3 battleships and a diplomatic vessel. They expected to find ruins, General Su said. Instead, they find us rebuilding. When the alien delegation landed outside the Alliance headquarters, they found not a desperate welcome party, but a calm reception committee headed by Min and President Jin. We are surprised to find your civilization intact, said Council Leader Zai, his translator struggling with the correct emotion. The cosmic anomaly has destroyed more advanced worlds than yours. We adapted, Min replied simply. The real reason for their return became clear as the talks progressed. The Council was concerned about the neural link technology, a development they hadn't foreseen and couldn't replicate. Their species' minds were too rigid, too specialized for the kind of fluid connection humans had achieved. You fear what we might become, Min said during a private meeting with Counselor Dewan, who had returned with the delegation. Some do, he admitted. Others are curious. Your solution was unexpected. 2 days later, as talks continued, Tai-Ho finally woke. His first words sent ripples through the thousands still connected to the dormant neural network. They're coming. At first, Min thought he meant the Council ships already in orbit, but new long-range scans revealed another fleet approaching, ships of many designs, some barely spaceworthy. Who are they? President Jin asked as they gathered in the command center. The answer came from Do-Wan. The Forgotten Ones, species deemed evolutionarily expendable by the Council. Word of your survival has spread. 3 years after Earth's near destruction, Min stood on the observation deck of the new Seoul Tower, watching ships land at the newly constructed sanctuary spaceport. Below, humans worked alongside Trellans, Vox, and a dozen other species once abandoned by the Galactic Council. Did you ever imagine this? Asked Tai-Ho, now recovered though permanently changed by his time as the shield's core consciousness. The neural link had faded for most participants, but he retained stronger connections than most. Never, Min admitted. I just wanted to save our world. They had done much more than that. Earth's desperate innovation had created technologies no other species had imagined possible. The shield network, now rebuilt and improved, was being adapted for everything from medicine to space travel. The neural link technologies were helping species communicate across vast psychological differences. Most importantly, Earth had become a symbol throughout the galaxy, of resilience, of hope, and of the radical idea that no sentient being was disposable. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the transformed landscape, a group of children, human and alien alike, played in the memorial park below. Among them was Jimin, now 13, teaching a young Trellan how to fly a kite in Earth's unfamiliar gravity. The Council is voting tomorrow on our proposal, Tai-Ho reminded Min. Do you think they'll accept it? The proposal would fundamentally reshape galactic politics, establishing a new cooperative body where all species had equal representation, regardless of technological development. They'll have to, Min said. The alternative is to keep pretending they have all the answers. She looked up at the changed sky, where the faint shimmer of shield energy still danced in the upper atmosphere. And we've proven rather conclusively that they don't.